we're filming. Okay, hello, I'm Stanzi and welcome to my house. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and if you like this video, do remember to give it a like at the end, or midway, or right now. Anyway, what I was going to say before remembering that I hadn't actually presented myself was that I've just showered, as you've probably seen on the title of this. Where does the title end up, here or there? Anyway, I am going to show you how I get my hair all sleek and shiny and things like that. So I have actually just showered. My hair is naturally curly. It is very bleached and coloured, so the curls, and it's heavy as well, so the curls usually end up more of a wave. But when I want to achieve the curls, use a diffuser. I have a GHD hairdryer. I'm going to go into that a bit more in a sec. Also, when I want to preserve my curls, I always sleep with my hair very messily like this, sort of. Yeah, just to preserve the bounciness. And I also slather on a lot of coconut oil. Now, I know that you can buy specifically made for, you know, products that are 100% coconut oil, but they are sold as hair products, and at least in Sweden they're usually more expensive than just plain coconut oil from, you know, the grocers. So that's where I buy mine, because why spend the double when it's the same thing? Jojoba oil, again, oils are very good for your hair. Avocado is good too. Argan, macadamia nut, Moroccan oil. I don't know exactly what it is in the Moroccan oil, if it's a nut blend or a specific. But yeah, so oils are good for your hair, especially if you have it curly. It needs a lot of oil, because usually curly hair is way more drier than straight hair. That's just naturally the case. So I just scrunch away the moisture as much as possible. I'm not gonna put in a whole bunch of oil now, just because, as I mentioned, what I'm doing today is flattening it out. Whoops! Flattening it out, so I'm not gonna preserve. Look, I just sort of need to stretch it, and they sort of lose the wavy bits. However, I just need to scrunch it and it starts to form up again, so it's not that bad. My baby hairs always preserve the curls a lot more. I don't know if you can tell yet. Need to dry up more. Anyway, so I've had quite a few people. Anyway, I've had a few of you ask me how I got my hair so flat and silky looking, so I answered some of you back that I was going to film a vlog about that, or tutorial, or whatever you want to call it, and post it, and that was about a month ago, so I do apologise for the tardiness, but better late than never, as they say. Oh, always start at the ends when you're brushing your hair and then work your way up. I have a very sensitive scalp, so it hurts a lot for me to brush out any knots. Oh. There we sort of are. Okay, getting better. Okay, hopefully you can't hear my neighbours outside in the little yard. The form say they're sort of screaming to one another. Shouting, not screaming, because they're not fighting, but they are. One seems to be in their apartment and the other one seems to be down, and well, basically they're shouting to one another, trying to communicate. Okay, so brushed it through. Now I'm going to divide it a bit. This is sort of naturally where it forms, my part, but I'm going to go more towards the middle anyway, and divide. Sort of. Anyway, it doesn't have to be straight. Not for this bit. And then, what side do I want to start with? Okay, so I mentioned the GHD hairdryer, which is the one I have, because it's the one my hairstylist uses, or the salon she works at, so therefore she's always used it on me. And I noticed that apart from my hair looking a lot nicer after drying, it also dried a lot faster. And sort of checked the technique she was using and things like that to see if it was more down to technique, tried the technique, and it wasn't that. So I simply bought one. I had one from Brown, not saying that other hairdryers don't do the job, but I got the GHD Air, if I remember correctly. Here it is. Different nozzles. This one is the wide one. There is one that is sort of like, well, slimmer. I have the diffuser as well for when I want my wavy curly hair. But now, as I am going to use it straight, I just remembered I forgot to use the products I use. So down with this one. But yeah, I noticed that it was a lot more efficient and kinder to the hair. It doesn't get that hot. I mean, they have three settings. It has a cold setting, warm, and then warmer, but it doesn't get like scalding hot like some hairdryers do, so it doesn't damage the hair that much. Okay, so I'm starting with first some Caviar CC Cream 10-in-1 Complete Correction Leave-In Hair Perfection. Can you see it? There we go. I am putting that mostly on my ends, and just a little piece, oh, I should have shown you, but like a pea-size amount. I have a lot of hair, so that's why I could have used, if you have shorter hair or thinner hair, then use a pea-size amount for your entire hair. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so insanely good. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with this. This is an anti-frizz. I suppose this one does that too, to some with smooths. It doesn't specifically say anti-frizz. This one is anti-frizz. It has it comes sort of a double packed. It has one that has PM that you put on your hair at night or in the evening, and then you sleep on that, and then you shower, and then when you're done showering you put this one on to leave in the frizz. This needs heat to activate, however. So if you just shower, that's the amount, sort of more of a bean for that product. What was I going to say? Yeah, it needs heat to activate, so if you use it and then sort of just let your hair air dry, or just dry it with the hair dryer, it's not enough. It needs a heating tool, and you might think that a hairdryer is a heating tool, but I'm talking about like a wand or a flattening iron or things like that. So it needs that kind of heating tool to be activated. And I've tried, so it's a lot less frizz, yes, but it's completely frizz-free if I do use a flattering iron or a curler or things like that. And here is my flattering iron, but I'll show you that one later. Okay, so the products are in. Now I'm going to divide it again. That's too much. Just a little. Come on, where was I? There. Okay, and I just twirl it, and I'm gonna put it on the other side now instead. There we are. So here we have the hair, and I am going to, well, I'm actually going to brush it through first. Oh, did I forget my, I did, I'm going to have to get it. Excuse me a second, I forgot my heat protection. I've already shaken it because it's divided. But quick dry potion, it says, and it does. There we are. Is that enough? Probably. Don't want to remove too much. I have to use some again when I'm using the flattering iron anyway, so. Okay, so what was I talking about? The hairdryer? I can't remember. Anyway, what I noticed when I switched hairdryer was, apart from the quality of my hair not getting as dry. I mean, yes, it dries, you know, it doesn't have water in it, but it sort of dried my hair more, I think it damaged my hair more. With this one, I don't feel that at all, actually. I start with going through my hair just to dry off most, and then I section it out a bit more than I've already done. So first just blowing it a bit. What I noticed when I switched from the GHD for the GHD from the other hairdryer I had is that the time it took me to dry my hair sort of went down from, I mean, it could take me easily up to 1 hour, 40 minutes I think, if I was doing it really quickly and not efficiently. But now I'm down to like 20 minutes for my entire hair, and that's amazing. So this bit isn't dry, but it's more, well, more dried obviously, kind of more humid. And yes, obviously my hair does become very straight when I do it like this as well, but not as straight as when I use the straighteners, and also it doesn't hold as long as when I use the straighteners. And also, as I mentioned, I need to activate the product that I forgot to mention the name of, Bamboo Smooth, a daytime smoothing balm, blowout balm. Yeah. So it provides 72 hours frizz-free hair, and I would actually say that that is true. I keep remembering things I want to say, but I think I'm all but done with the things I want to say, so I'm just gonna concentrate on drying my hair now. Another thing you can think of when you're blow drying your hair is the direction of the roots. If you want your hair to lie flat, then obviously just comb it down and blow dry it. I'm blow drying it upwards because I don't want my hair to be that flat. As it, you know, gravity will pull it down anyway. But yeah, as you can see, it gets straight enough from done a quarter of my hair, and it hasn't even taken 10 minutes. So I'm going to, whoops, it wasn't on properly. So as you can see, my hair is, well, maybe you can't see that it's dry, but it is dried, and it's a lot straighter. But now I need to go in with the flattering iron because it is kind of sticky, but not sort of like slimy sticky, but like dry sticky. I can't really explain it. Well, yeah, sort of like if you drop sugar and it sort of dries as something like a drink or something, and it sort of gets that kind of sticky it is. So, and that's because this product is in it and it's starting to work, but it needs to be activated. So again, parting my hair in the middle, unsuccessfully. Come on. Whatever. Oh, and do have a brush, will not use it. So my hair will look a lot flatter obviously once I've gone through with the flattering iron. Right now it's fluffy, so sometimes I do have my hair just like this. However, as I said, the frizz is not gone. It looks gone, but it's not. So if you want that frizz-free hair, then you need to go in with a flattering iron. So, just gonna do one clamp on this side, like that, and the other one on this side like that, just so it stays out of the way. And here I'm gonna do the same, but I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, whip. And it's enough with one. Okay, I need to actually plug it in as well. Okay, so again, product from GHD. I have the flattering iron. What is the name of this one? Is it the platinum? It doesn't say. I can't remember. I'll put the name here or here. But yes, it's a flattering iron from GHD. Again, I can't remember the specifics. I will have it here. It doesn't heat up ridiculously much, but it is ridiculously effective, however. That means it's turned on and it sort of shines there, and then it makes another noise when these are warm enough for me to start the, well, combing it, passing it through my hair. I'm gonna call it passing it through my hair. So I need to section this. I go in with a comb again, or with my brush again, when I flatten it, just because I want all my hairs to be straight when I flatten. Getting there. It is a bit of an arm workout if you have a lot of hair, and if you have long hair. It's done. Thankfully, I have arms that are long enough for the length of my hair, so that I can do this. And you only have to press it together, you don't have to, or hold it together, I mean, you don't have to press it together, and then just glide it on. So you don't really have to clamp it together. I've always thought that you sort of needed to keep them sort of strongly together. Another thing I learned from my hairdresser is that you don't. A good flattering iron, you just basically need to hold it and it will, you know, get it flattened. But you have to do it slowly. That's something that apparently a lot of us do wrong as well, is that we don't do it slowly enough. So we do it faster and we do it several times and we think that it takes a lot. Well, it does take a long time, but you know, it doesn't take as long as we think it does, because we don't necessarily do it correctly from the start. I'm gonna do it one last time a bit quicker so that it all just falls down my back. And another section again here, smaller sections. It will actually go faster because you don't have to do it as much as when you do thicker sections. So this section is actually thinner than the one I just had, so this one would probably go faster. And I have sprayed my hair with that same, this one. So we need some heat protective, because, you know, drying your hair, yes, you are putting heat on it, but this is sort of directly on it, so it's more damaging if you don't use any heat protecting. I also found out, which I didn't know, is that it's actually good to use a hairdryer, especially if you suffer from dry scalp. I always thought the reverse, actually, that the hairdryer would actually dry you out a bit more, but no, apparently it's the moisture that is left on your scalp for too long that makes your scalp dry. So the faster you dry it, the better. Okay, you see, I I didn't mean to do that little turn at the end, so I'm gonna try to get that off now. Just straight. Come on. So, I always go through the ends at the end, well, basically. So you'll see me fix that as well. You get a bit, some ends that are a bit turned. So, and I don't know if you can tell, but you know, comes fumes from the flattering iron. That is the humid or the moisture from the spray, the heating. What is the name of this? Cloud9 Magical Quick Dry Potion. That's the name of it. So if you have used something like that on your hair, and then you see some fumes coming up when you use your flattering iron, don't worry, it's just that product being, well, hot, warm, burnt, whatever you wish to call it. It also means that it's working, because otherwise, if that doesn't happen, I don't know, then you're burning your hair. And if that's happened, if that is happening and you're not using a heat protective product, then you are genuinely burning your hair, so then you need to stop doing it. Whoop. And again, just as I did with the hairdryer, you can see that I am going out with it instead of down with it. Again, I want as much. Oops, that was part of. Was it or wasn't it? No. I want. What do I want? I want my roots to be a bit fluffier. No, I'm gonna go in with this entire wide section, I think. And not fall straight down. I want to have some volume on my roots. So that's why I'm doing it upwards, sideways, rather than doing it down. And I know I've said it before, but I haven't said it in this post tutorial, so I'll say it now, that hair forms in heat and sets in cold. So if you want this to stay like this, you don't clamp it down while it's still warm. Like if I put a clamp now here, I will get marks on it because it's still warm, so I need it to cool down before I can properly start, you know, doing stuff with. I'm gonna section this off again. It's kind of a lot of hair. Sort of the middle. I don't know. Let's see. That one down. And it's always easier, I find, to start from the back and work your way forward. Now, you might not find that it is, so you don't have to do it the way I'm doing. But I find it a lot easier doing it that way. And I think 2 sections with this. Yeah. And up, because I want volume on my roots. Actually, I'm going to go from this side. And again, this straightener doesn't have any settings. It comes with a setting, and that's the setting it is. I can't put it any higher or lower or anything like that, and it keeps that setting until I turn it off, obviously. So that means that I don't damage my hair, because we're not experts at home. We can't really see it clearly on our hair when we're damaging it. And if you have thick hair and if you have textured hair like curly people do, then you need, I always thought I needed, well, I do need ceramic, whatever they are called, the thing that is actually flattening my hair. But I also thought that I needed a lot of heat for it to get it straight, and that's not the case. You just need a good flattering iron. Yep. Taking this. I'm gonna get two as well, I think. Oh, good gracious, I mean, that hurt. Did I go low enough? There we are. Don't want any knots in the base of my hair. Let's see. Come up a bit. There we are. And going up. You can't see. Sorry about that. And then I slowly start going forward, because I can't see either. And I do want to make sure that I get entire all my hair. There we are. Make it straight. Yep. So. Darn it. Nope. No. Clamp it down. There you go. And go from this side, perhaps. Wants to join the club anyway. We are. Ooh, that hurt. Ow, 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 ow. Yep. Did I clap it more than once? Yes, apparently I did. Oh, go back, go back. Okay. Doing this and this and this. Gently does it. Because rushing it will actually take you a lot longer because it's not done properly. So yep. Oh, that's why I thought it was hot. That's why it was hot. Let's see. That bit. And obviously, if you want to curl your hair with your wand, you can do that as well, and it will give you the same silky finish. Or if you want to use a curling wand and not a flattering wand, flattering iron. Okay, now here are the little hairs that always get sort of wispy around my face. I want those flattened. I should have had a mirror and not only the. Oh, don't burn my forehead, please. Always get smaller hairs. That's the positive thing, though. your hair constantly grows, because you lose a lot of hair too. This one was clean when I started. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, there you can tell. Full of hair. So losing a lot, but it keeps growing. And ow! And I'm sure you can tell that sometimes I sort of pause and don't drag it through immediately on one swoop. That's because, as you can probably tell, my ends are sometimes shorter or thinner. So I start with all the hair and then it sort of falls off the further down I go. So to properly gather all the hair again, sort of go back a bit and finish it off. So almost one side up, but I think you can tell it's straight. And I'll go through it, then clamping it through just one extra time at the end, just because that's how I do it. Oh, yep, you're not supposed to be there. And this last bit, one swoop. Following it through. Ah, one side done. As you can tell, get a few hairs that get straightened but that are short, so that's the sort of downside. But you can spray those down. I'm not going to use any spray today, because last time I did this I noticed that it wasn't necessary. So for it to keep straight, but you do get these wispy little hairs. If you use spray you'll get those down and they will keep down, obviously. So that's the only difference. Now I'm going to do the next side and I'll see you when I'm done with that. Turn this one up. There we are. With any heat left, I sort of check my ends. If any that is a bit too turned or anything like that. I know my hair is long so you can't really see it, but here we are. Just a little there. Oh, still warm. I don't want to burn myself. But yeah, so I'll go through any ends that I find aren't straight enough and finish that. And I need to fix the parting the way I like. A bit more like that. And they will flatten out. They do, as I've mentioned before, gravity. Right now they are too short and too but yeah, they will actually flatten out. So what I found, however, they will flatten out, but like the third day with this hairstyle like this, they will sort of pop up again. So if you want to use hairspray, then do. I'm not going to, because I've tried it without and it works to keep it straight like this anyway. So that is it. That is how I get this frizz-free, straight, glossy hair that keeps itself this way for at least 3 days, which is ridiculously practical. So yep, that is my tip. I need to say that I am not collaborating, I'm not sponsored, I am not anything with GHD. I've just tried their products and they are really, really good, so that's why I've mentioned them specifically, because I personally noticed a huge difference. I have had Philips hairdryers. The latest I had before buying a GHD was a brown. When it comes to hair straighteners, I've had Babyliss, I've had brown as well, and I've had another, I can't remember the brand of the first hairdryer I ever had. But yeah, so come on, flatten down little ones. Yep. So anyway, this is, at least for me, it's more static than anything, so don't worry, it's not frizz, it's static right now just because I've been, you know, combing it, but as I said, it will flatten down. It rained one day when I had my hair like this. I was a bit worried about that. It kept its shape quite well. It didn't go all wavy, it sort of became softer. I don't know how else to call it, because right now it's straight, so it sort of became even softer, but it wasn't curly or wavy, you know, like prominently so. So again, I've noticed that those GHD products work wonders on how you keep the quality of styling with your hair. Obviously, I've used these ones, I haven't tried others. I have tried other heating sprays, so I can't say that this particular one is better than any other. But when it comes to these two products, this one is more because of the damage on my ends, so it's just a little nice treat. But this one is the anti-frizz one, so that you know. And again, as I mentioned, I've used this hairstyle with hairspray to sort of keep it a bit longer. I've noticed, at least for me, that I don't have to use hairspray to keep this hairstyle. I know I would keep looking at the monitor all the time, but that's because I'm talking about my hair, so I keep looking at my hair. So I do apologise for that. And I just did that again. But yeah, that is it. Quick and easy. This is how I get my hair. Not quick. I think from beginning to end this will be about 40 minutes. I will try to speed through whatever I can speed through. But when I talk and film at the same time, it does take a bit longer. But still, it's a lot faster with these hair tools than any other I've used before. So that again is something that I need to mention. I've never tried the Dyson, so I don't know if that one would be faster and more efficient on me. But I also find that I have no need of trying a Dyson because I'm so happy with my GHD hair tools. So I'm gonna stick to those for now anyway. That is it. That is how I get this hair. Again, if you don't have these tools, don't go all crazy and feel like you have to buy them. Try the techniques, try going through it as I've showed you, using products that are for anti-frizz. Consider, you know, if you have really curly hair, then perhaps you need products like this that does give moisture and shine and smoothness. It is UV protectant, it's heat protectant and light hold, so you know it has a lot of things to protect curly hair, or you know, hair with what is it called? Structure? No, not structure, with texture. This one, what does this contain? Exactly, anti-frizz system for sleek blowouts, that's all what it says. And I've thrown away the box, so I don't know if it has other things like that. That sort of makes sure that your hair is kept nice. But yeah, consider that if you have straight hair naturally and you just want to give a little bit more boost, or you want, you know, the anti-frizzness, then you will have to apply the straightness to activate the product. There are other anti-frizz products. I would suggest that you either talk to a hairstylist or that you really read on the boxes or here behind the product that you buy, just to make sure that maybe that's something that you've been missing. Maybe you've used anti-frizz products but you've not noticed those little details. For instance, I've never been aware that there were hair products that needed to be activated with heating tools, but then I started using this one and I realized that that was the case. So yeah, consider that. And what else? As I said, don't necessarily go out and buy specifically this. Try with whatever you have at home first. Also a tip, if you're at the hairdressers and you like the way they do your hair there, watch them very particularly and ask them as well why they're doing what they're doing. A good hairstylist should tell you anyway what products they are using and why they're using them and why they're styling your hair a specific way. But not all hairstylists do that. Sometimes they might forget, or they've told you before and think that you remember and things like that. But if you really want to know how to keep your hair nice and healthy, and you like the way your hairdresser styles it, then you should ask them why they are styling it. When they are washing your hair, what shampoos are they using? What is it called? Balsam in Swedish, in conditioner in English. What conditioner they're using, why they're using them. The same goes to when they're styling it. What products, if they use any mousse, why are they using that particular mousse? Is it just for volume, or does it contain other things that are good for your hair? Spray can contain anything from just keeping your hair in place to, you know, vitamins and minerals to make sure that your hair is healthy, and protein and things like that. So ask. And if you don't go to you know, a hairstylist, if you don't cut your hair in a salon, then you can still go in and ask them, this is my hair, it's a bit damaged, what would you suggest? It doesn't mean that you have to buy whatever they are recommending right there and then. Just sort of like, I just want to inquire, you know, what products would you recommend for my kind of hair and things like that. Or go to a store that sells hair products, the same thing. Excuse me. Not done. I'm coming down with a bit of a cold, I think. Anyway, that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this hair tutorial, and if you did, remember to give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and be kind to one another if you leave any comments. If there's anything particular you would like me to film, or any products you would like me to try out and give you reviews on, then again, leave me any comments down below, or drop me a line on Instagram. My handle will appear on screen shortly. And that's it for today. I hope you're fine, and I will see you next time. Bye!